Rua Ribeirão dos Santos, number 24, Historic Center of Salvador, Bahia, a three-story mansion with 19th century blue Portuguese tiles on its facade and an inner courtyard lined with the oldest tiles in the city, dating back to the 17th century. Beautiful, isn't it? It's been a National Historic Landmark since 1943. Today, it houses the Casa Pia Technical School. Children study music. Teachers give classes. Life goes on. But at night, when everyone leaves, local residents swear the house is never empty. Because inside that mansion, over the course of 3 centuries, deaths occurred that were never explained, crimes that were never solved, and ghosts that never found peace. Would you dare to spend a night in the House of the Seven Deaths? To understand this story, we need to go back to colonial Brazil, the 17th century. Salvador was the capital of Brazil, the first capital and the epicenter of the transatlantic slave trade from Africa. At that time, the wealthiest families built monumental townhouses, mansions with 2 or 3 floors, inner courtyards, tiles imported from Portugal, and bathtubs inlaid with shells brought from India. They were symbols of power, wealth, and status. But they were also scenes of unimaginable horrors, torture, punishment, murder. Many of these mansions were built on the suffering of hundreds of enslaved people. And that suffering, some say, never truly left. The mansion on Rua do Passo now, Rua Ribeirão dos Santos, was built in the 17th century. No one knows exactly when, nor who built it, but it survived. For more than 400 years, that mansion remained standing, and it witnessed crimes that history tried to forget. The first recorded tragedy at the House of the Seven Deaths happened even before it received that name. According to historical accounts passed down orally through generations, a wealthy and powerful family lived in the mansion. And in that house, there was an enslaved woman. Her name was erased from history, as happened to most enslaved people, but her revenge was not. Legend says that after years of abuse, humiliation, and violence, she decided she could endure no more. One night, she prepared dinner for the family. She poisoned the food, the couple, the 2 children. All of them died that night. No one knows what happened to the woman who committed the murders, whether she was executed, whether she fled, whether she took her own life. History does not record it. But what happened next, everyone knows. The mansion was considered cursed. It remained closed for decades, until the mid-18th century, when the government of Bahia decided to reopen it and assign a new resident. In 1755, Father Manuel de Almeida Pereira was appointed parish priest of the city of Salvador, a religious man respected by the diocese. And he needed a house. The authorities offered him the mansion on the former Rua do Passo, renovated, clean, ready for a new beginning. The priest accepted and moved in with 3 assistants, a freed mixed-race servant and 2 enslaved people provided by the diocese. But peace would not last long. In 1756, just 1 year after the priest moved in, the Book of the Court of Appeal of Bahia officially recorded 4 murders by stabbing occurred in the mansion on Rua do Passo. The victims, Father Manuel de Almeida Pereira, the freed mixed-race servant, and 2 enslaved people. All stabbed, all dead on the same night. And no one, absolutely no one, was arrested. Theories multiplied. Some claimed it was a crime of passion. Others said it was political revenge. There were those who suggested a conspiracy within the church itself. But the truth died with them. And here arises one of the great contradictions of history. The court recorded 4 deaths. 4. But the house became known as the House of the Seven Deaths, or the House of the Seven Stabbings. Why? No one knows for sure. Perhaps because the 4 deaths of 1756 were added to the 4 earlier deaths of the poisoned family, totaling 8. Or perhaps because there were other deaths never officially recorded. Or perhaps because the number 7 is traditionally linked to the supernatural. Either way, the name remained, and the house's reputation was changed forever. After the murders of 1756, the mansion passed through many hands. In 1795, Donna Catarina de Sena de Silva Marino became its owner. In the 19th century, the wealthy merchant Joaquin Esteves dos Santos purchased the property. Joaquin died in 1881, and his heirs, in a gesture of generosity, donated the property in 1936 to the Casa Pia dos Orfeos de São Joaquim. On March 23, 1943, the National Institute of Historic and Artistic Heritage officially listed the House of the Seven Deaths as a National Historic Landmark, and with good reason. The mansion is a masterpiece of Brazilian colonial architecture. Iberian influences, Portuguese, Spanish, Moorish combined with refined English elements in the interior. The central courtyard, lined with 17th century tiles, was confirmed by a ceramist as the oldest in Salvador. It features a bathing room with a shell-inlaid bathtub, marble floors, and 19th century Portuguese blue tiles on the facade. It is a living document of Brazilian history, but architectural beauty never erased its dark reputation. Throughout the 20th century, residents of the area reported unexplained phenomena. Footsteps on the upper floor when the house was empty, doors opening and closing on their own. Strange noises always at midnight, noon, and 6 p.m. A nursing assistant who lived in the mansion for 3 months in 2006 gave a recorded testimony confirming the supernatural events. Misty apparitions, shadows in the corridors, a constant feeling of being watched. In 2010, the Institute of Artistic and Cultural Heritage of Bahia carried out a major restoration of the House of the Seven Deaths, an investment of more than 3 million reais. The mansion was saved from abandonment. The walls were reinforced, the tiles restored, the marble floors polished, the shell-inlaid bathtub preserved. Today, the Casa Pia Technical School operates there. During the day, children study music. Teachers give classes. Visitors can tour the mansion from Monday to Friday, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. In some way, it is a story of redemption. A place marked by violence, first slavery, then murder transformed into a space of education and culture. But at night, when the lights go out, residents still tell the stories. They still hear the noises. They still feel the presence. And the House of the Seven Deaths is not alone. Brazil is full of colonial mansions with similar histories. Castelinho da Rua Apá in São Paulo, where 3 members of a family were killed in 1937. Castelinho do Flamengo in Rio de Janeiro, with its tragic family history. The haunted mansion of Guaíba in Ceará, with its small ruins and iron bars that tell the story of slavery. Each of these places carries the scars of our past, and they remind us that history is not only what is written in books. It is also what remains in the walls, in the tiles, in the empty corridors. The House of the Seven Deaths still stands, more than 400 years after its construction, nearly 270 years after the murders of Father Manuel. And it still awakens curiosity, still sends shivers down the spine, still keeps its secrets. Perhaps the ghosts are real. Perhaps they are only the collective memory of a people trying to process their own violent past. Perhaps it is impossible to separate one from the other. What we know for certain is this: when a place witnesses so much suffering, so much death, so much injustice, something remains. In the walls, in the air, in the feeling you get when you walk down that street at night and look up at dark windows. Thank you for watching. And until next time.